Alright, y'all. Um, you guys know I'm from Iowa. Um, so, we have a representative by the name of Cindy AXNE. I wrote her a letter asking for a audit of the state of Iowa. In fact, standing up for a nationwide audit of the electoral system. I wrote that on April, I can't remember when I sent it, a couple days ago. So the response I got, and I'm going to leave my last name out of it. I'm just going to use my first name because she's my last name and I don't like people knowing my last name. Dear Casey, thank you for contacting me regarding the 2020 election. I appreciate that you are taking the time to share your views with me. Okay, sounds pretty good, you know. Gotta thank you for taking your time with me. Some bullshit. Every politician says that. Now here's the juicy part. I'm gonna take this paragraph by paragraph and I'm gonna explain this shit for all of y'all. Ruby down. Sorry, I'm a massive one it up here. I take our election. No, this is Miss Cynthia Axel. I take our elections security seriously, and I am committed to protecting Iowa's elections. As you know, or as you may know, each state decides their own electoral procedures, including the procedure for receiving and counting absentee ballots. During the 2020 election, there was a record of absentee ballots cast, mainly due to the pandemic, which made voting by mail a preferred choice for many Americans. Before the election, I supported $400 million in election grant funding to help make sure all eligible voters could exercise their right to vote efficiently, safely, and securely, including precautions from fraud. I believe that confidence in our election is the bedrock of our democracy. Alright, I've been hearing this a fucking ton. It's a bedrock. It's in our Constitution. It's the one thing that makes us different than any other, most countries. So, we all know mail-in ballots were used nationwide. So I did some digging here in the state of Iowa. And I know personally for myself, I'm a convicted felon, and I'm not eligible to vote in Iowa unless I get my voting rights reinstated by our governor, who's a Republican. And I love what she's been doing for our state. Okay? So check this out. In the mail leading up to November 3rd, I received multiple forms to register to vote, stating that our records indicate that you're eligible to vote. No, I'm not. In the state of Iowa, you have to have everything paid off. You have to have time served, which I've got time served. A little behind on paying the shit back. Sorry, I just brushed my teeth. So I got 3 or 4 registered to vote forms from the Iowa Democratic Party. Okay? But, like I said, indicated that I'm eligible to vote. No, I'm not. So, we know that President Carter had stated that mail-in ballots lead to fraud. When Abraham Lincoln was elected, I believe he served 2 terms, but the Pony Express, which is now the U.S. Postal Service, tried to rig that election. So, we all know that Democrats, especially representatives, have to go with Nancy Pelosi. All right. Second paragraph. Over the past few months, there have been legal challenges to some states' election process and outcomes. I am proud of our elections process because each vote cast was double checked and verified, and in these cases I was open to any evidence that may have been presented, but legal challenges in Wisconsin, Nevada, Georgia, Michigan, Minnesota, Arizona, and Texas were all dismissed, lacking evidence by nonpartisan judge, election officials, as well as Republican and Democratic secretaries of states who are responsible for overseeing these elections. Again, I welcome all evidence of election mismanagement or voter fraud, but at this time there has been no credible evidence of voter fraud presented in court that would change the outcome of the presidential election in 2020. Joe Biden is the president-elect and the winner of both popular and electoral votes in 2020 presidential election. All right, now I'm this part right here. I'm gonna do some research here. Really down. Sorry, I got some dogs that like to jump up on me. Obama election votes in 2008. Okay. According to this, it said that President Obama, okay, won in 2008 365 electoral votes, and John McCain won 173. Okay, so in 2012, let's just do some. Sorry, the Cubs are on. I'm not watching them. According to Wikipedia, that Obama lost some votes. Really down. I'm doing. Went down to 332 electoral votes. And Mitt Romney won 206. Okay? Almost identical numbers here. About 5,000 votes or 5 million votes separated them for popular votes. Okay, now when it comes to states carried, Obama had 26 plus DC. Mitt Romney had 24, so almost identical there. Now, we're gonna do Obama, Trump, Biden election or comparisons. Okay, so now we're gonna check kind of in between all three of, nope, that's 2020. So, according to the USA Today, on December 9th, fact check, Biden won the most total votes with the total fewest counties. Okay, so this is what really gets me. Did Biden win more votes than any president in history? He won a record low 17% of counties. Okay? 17% of counties. What the hell? Oh. 17%, which he won 477 counties. While President Obama in 2008 won 873. Now, let's see what Trump won by. Okay. Now, Trump, okay, on November 10th, the Booking Institution published a report on the county level results, all right? The results showed that Biden won 477 counties, while Trump won 2,400, almost 2,500 counties. Now, on December 8th, according to this post from the USA Today, on December 8th, the think tank updated its report with new data. The updated report showed that Biden won 509 of the counties. Okay? But according to the update data, won only 16.7% of the counties in finalized results. That represents a low number proportion of winning presidential candidate. Okay? The record before that was 22% by President Barack Obama in 2012 by winning only 689 counties. Trump, okay, now on December 8th when they updated, 2,547 counties, according to the results from 28 counties, still were not finalized for the bookings institution. Okay? Before, alright, so Obama set previous records in 2012 with 689 counties, which equals 22%. Before that, he only won 28%. Okay? So, counties vary by population. Okay, so they're saying here that, for example, Hawaii has 88 residents in one county, and Loving County in Texas has 169 residents. And then Los Angeles County, which is in California, has 10.1 million compared to Illinois' Cook County, which has 5.2 million. All right, so that's disparaging right there. So, did President Biden win the actual and then, all right, so how does Trump's support compare? Presidential job approval ratings after 2 years in office. Somehow, that's fucked up. Okay, global expectations of Trump's presidency. It has a little thing here. Russia, 74%. Said he was good. Trump was a good president. Okay, but it doesn't say about the United States. I probably should read these. Sweden had no confidence in President Trump. So, with the audits going on right now, I don't know what to believe because I don't think there's just no way in hell that Biden won. And just to let you guys know, this video is probably going to be a little bit longer. Okay. So, according to The Hill, who is the preference to become president in 2020? It had Biden at 31%, minus 3 points, and Harris at 7%. Okay. And according to the WB Weber, it's up in New Hampshire, Democratic primary in New Hampshire. Biden had, let me see his name here, 17%. Kamala Harris, or as I call her, Camel Toe Harris, not even on it in New Hampshire, which is blue state, by the way. Now, degree of preference by each candidate for 2020. Joe Biden had less than He was down. I mean, Eric Swalwell had the 1600 mark. Even Camel Toe Harris wasn't even on this one. I mean, Elizabeth Warren. Oh, Camel Toe Harris was actually above. I mean, in the state of Iowa, a tight race in Iowa, percentage registered Democratic primary voters in Iowa who would vote if given a candidate. All right, so they have the Emerson, Monarch, Iowa State, which the USA Today, the New York Times. Okay, so Sanders won the Emersons. Biden won the USA Today. That's it. No, wait, hold on here. And Monmouth, he won those two. I mean, out of surveys collected on January 20th and 27th, with an average sample size of 547 people in my state of Iowa. Okay? Head to head in Ohio. All right, this is what check this out though. In Ohio, September 29th to October 2nd, they had Sanders beating Trump in Ohio. They had Biden beating, like they had all the Democratic, I mean, they had Sanders, Biden, Warren winning Ohio. And then they had Biden, Sanders, Warren over Pence in Ohio. Really? That's according to Emerson's polling. New Hampshire primary. Here we go. New Hampshire primary. Among likely New Hampshire voters. Biden, 11%. Okay? And I'm pulling this up on that wiki thingy, or the googly thingy. Now, Democratic candidates' third quarter fundraising in millions. Biden and Harris had less than Sanders, Warner, and the Pete guy, the deportment guy. Now, the matchup between Joe Biden. Okay, so this is what I really find here. Source conducted by Scott Rasmussen, February 24th, 2020, or to March 1st, 2020, of 1,000 voters in the state of Utah. Biden had 33%. Okay, they did three scenarios. Biden, Sanders, Warner versus Donald Trump. 50% all three against all three of them. 28% was the lowest number that was what's her face? Elizabeth. Bernie Sanders and Biden. Okay. Somehow come up with the same thing. And then the other would not vote, not sure. It's kind of all the same. So what I'm getting at is Biden had really low numbers. Now, back to Wisconsin, Nevada, Georgia, Michigan, Minnesota, Arizona, and Texas. I never heard a damn lawsuit in Texas about the voting. Okay? I heard about Minnesota being because of Omar. Because of ballot harvesting, alright? So, the other states, their shit didn't go to court based on procedure, not merit, okay? So procedure is how you get those, how you get that information. Now, merit is the evidence. They didn't want the evidence. Chief Justice Roberts would not hear because he was afraid of the fucking riots that had been going on. Oh my God. Okay? So I'm going to try to cut this a little shorter than I wanted to, or than what I probably should. Additionally, on December 14th, 2020, the Electoral College voted to certify the 2020 presidential election. Now, this is where it really gets fucked up, because Democrats are against the Constitution, but they love throwing it in your face when they win. Okay? The Constitution dictates that the president and vice president are chosen by the members of the Electoral College rather than directly by the popular vote, with each state selecting its own electors based on the election results. The candidates with the majority of the electoral votes, 270 or greater, are elected as the next president and vice president of the United States. On December 14th, 2020, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris received 306 from the... Okay. We all know that. Did they... Okay. So, there were still challenges in states. Hey! Get down, dog. Sorry, the dogs are just not listening. They're ready for bed. It's almost 11 o'clock here in Iowa. This is kind of the latest they've ever been up. So they're trying to figure out what to do. So, by December 14th, there were still challenges in states with other electoral slates. Okay? Now, we all know what happened January 6th. Okay? During this session, some Republicans in the House and Senate objected. Okay, it wasn't this session. It was January 6th. Okay? During the session, some of the Republicans in the House and Senate objected to electoral results in certain states. Now this is Democrat. I took the time to carefully and fully review these arguments alleging widespread voter fraud. There was no evidence a large number of ballots being fraudulently or illegally cast, such that would call into question of the results of the election. In fact, members of the Election Infrastructure Government Coordinating Council and Election Infrastructure Sector Coordinating Council experts. Alright, I don't know who the hell these guys are. It's a big fucking tongue tie. Experts responsible for protecting our elections recently concluded that the past election was the most secure in American history. Now, I'm going to stop there for just a second. Most secure. Now, I'm only 33 years old. Okay, I'm a big boy, too. When was the most unsecure election? Most unsecured election in U.S. history is when? So they keep using this, okay? And no widespread fraud. So we know there was fraud. She said it right there. Black and white. There was no evidence that a large number of ballots being fraudulently or illegally cast that would call into questions of the election. She said it in her own words. I can't make this shit up, people. This is from my representative in the House. Okay? Now, experts my ass. The experts responsible for protecting our elections recently concluded that the past election was the most secured in history. I believe members of Congress who spread meritless claims of fraud are setting a dangerous precedent and ensuing distrust in the democratic system. I voted to certify the election results since Joe Biden and Kamala Harris exceeded the 270 electoral votes during this joint session of Congress. They will be the next president. Okay, so we already know that. She goes on. I'll just finish reading this quick email. Thank you again for contacting my office. Please keep in touch with any additional questions or concerns by emailing me. And I got her, her shit. I'm not going to kind of give that out. And signed, sincerely, Cynthia. She goes by Cindy X, member of Congress. All right, Cookie Dough, get out of there. Hey, sorry. Like I said, the dogs are just. So, And I've already started an email to her. I'm going to read that, and I'll just get back to you. Miss Axe, as know, the cases were, alright, so I have to kind of retype this. As you know, cases were never in court for many different reasons. Even Chief Justice Roberts did not want to take the cases because of rioting and burning down of the country. Now, you work for me. You don't work for Nancy Pelosi. You may have been elected with the money of the left, but I don't think I would think long and hard about standing against the people in Iowa. Or I would think long and hard about standing with the people of Iowa in auditing our elections nationwide. All right, so this is why I'm making this video. It's fucking half hour. I knew it was going to be. If the Democrats have nothing to hide, then why not do audits? To prove it to us. Just prove it. You know, prove it to the American people. Come on now. I mean, come on, man. I mean, come on now. I don't get the Democrats at all. I really don't. If there was nothing to hide, then why not allow it to happen? I just said it. Just a few things to think about. Joe Biden did not come anywhere close to winning the primary. Miss Harris had less than 2% of the primary. Come on, man. God, it's gonna. All right, that come on, man shit's gonna fucking piss me off. Meaning no one liked him. You voted based on the party that you chose to put yourself into. And you knew that Nancy Pelosi had to help you get in. Now you stand with Joe Biden in tearing down my country. Tearing down the country that I helped protect with a deployment under my belt. So yeah, I did serve in the United States Army, the Iowa Army National Guard, the Army Reserves, and active duty. My active duty time was my deployment. So, I was stationed in Mosul, Iraq, which is Northern Territory of Iraq, for 9 months. I met a lot of great people from all over the world. Anyways, so you know that I love my country and that I will defend her. Like I said, I'm leaving my last name up. Hereby put you on notice that if any of the audits that are going on right now show any fraud, I will be calling for a petition to recall you from the House of Representatives. I defend my state and my country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's my little beagle-looking dog that I adopted. In the response that you sent me back, I found that you had mentioned a few things that I will address with the research I have done. President Carter stated that the mail-in ballots caused problems in the 2020 elections. We had people that worked for the United States Postal Service, and they were videotaping themselves burning ballots and not delivering ballots to people. It's fact. In fact, I am a convicted felon. Like I told y'all, I'm not allowed to vote in Iowa. But I received many voter registration forms from no other than the Democratic Party of Iowa. In fact, I was sent a registration form every day with multiple forms in it. Not shitting you. By the time September 30th hit, I think there's 30 days in September. Whatever the last day in September was, to November 1st, I had about 300 registration forms. I threw my burn barrel and I didn't want it. Okay? So I know I can't vote, so. In fact, I'm a convicted felon and I'm not allowed to vote. Like I said, I have unpaid shit to pay. In fact, I sent, where was I? Okay, so I know in Iowa you have to be reinstated to vote, get your firearms back, which is kind of cool because once you're a felon, you're not always a felon in the state of Iowa. Depending on the job you're wanting, you only have to go back like 13 years. Depending on the job. Sometimes you have to go back a lifetime, like for a cop. I know in social work, it goes back like 7 years. So I'm cool. But because I don't have everything paid off, I can't vote. Now, I can't own a firearm unless I go through an application process, which is like 8 pages long. I filled it out 3 times and I've never sent it in, so it's the same form to get a pardon. You can cut the lies, but you care about the safety of the elections because you are being told to say so. In fact, if you take the election process, like you say you do, then why not prove it? I mean, I got 4 dogs, right? I got 2 3-year-old dogs and a 2-year-old and like an 18-month-old dog. They're smarter than the representative we had, all right, that I have. In fact, if you take, okay, once again, you work for me. I don't care if your representative is a Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, Radical, Conservative, whatever. They work for you. If they don't like it, they got an option. Hit the pavement, Jack. We don't want you. I mean, this bitch stood there and voted for President Biden, which we knew she was because she's a Democrat. Let's see here. Once again, you work for me, not the other way around. Kind of common sense there, right? So I know firsthand that something was up. In fact, I dug a little deeper into the judges. Not one Trump-appointed judge had a case go in front of them. It may have been Republican, it may have been nonpartisan, all right? But we know the Bush was still alive. He wants to make people in Mexico legal citizens, but keep them kind of like slavery. Make them work in Mexico, but they get their citizenship here. Free labor. I mean, slavery right there. I mean, Democrat. I mean, okay. But how much money does it take to buy off a judge? I mean, in Georgia, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg gave the Secretary of State millions of dollars. So, that's why they changed their voting laws right after the election. So they could keep face with Republicans. I mean, it's not common fucking sense. If this was the most secured election in history, when was the most unsecured election? Just a question. Why is H.R. 1 not about COVID? It's about voting laws. It's about making the election system to be controlled at the federal level, not state level, which, according to the Constitution of the United States of America, Article 2, Section 2, I believe, or Section 1, Article 2, Section 2, I can't remember the exact part, but it says that the state legislators will control the manner, the time, and the place that the elections are to happen. I don't write to shut up. I mean, just last semester I got a 3.2. Brought my GPA down a little bit, so I'm not the smartest guy in the world. It was about making, so then I challenge you to vote no on the next bill that the Democrats want to pass. You won't do it. But to prove a point to me, she'll do it because she'll talk to Nancy about it first. Exactly what the sad part is next. To the electoral colleges. Now, the left wants to take it away. They want California, New York, Texas, Florida, all these big states you win the popular vote, you'll win the election. Because they didn't win in 2016.